All right, it looks like we are recording, so we're going to move forward with our presentation today. Thanks everybody for joining us. This is Valerie Van Boeven. I'm a registered nurse and the co-owner of LTC Expert Publications, and my business partner George Novison is also on the line with us today. Hi, George.
Hi, Val. Hi, everyone.
And so today we're going to, George is going to be around at the end, and he's going to take questions just like I will. And of course, if anybody wants to contact George when we get done, you're welcome to. So today we're going to talk about the 7-step plan, your home care agency dominating Google. Google shows us SEO and content guidelines for home care agencies. I want to show you something before I move on to the next slide. So let me hit escape here. This is what is in your handout. So on the dashboard that you have in front of you, your little dashboard that allows you to raise your hand and do all that, there should be a handout. And this is the handout that you'll see. It's the 160-page Google, I guess, instructions for rating quality websites. So I put a cover page on it that tells you where you received it. Great marketing, right? But this is actually what Google has sent out to the world at the end of 2015. So this is not something that we created. It was created by Google. It's yours to keep. It's 160 pages. And it's a lot of information to go through, and some of it may not make sense to you. So I am going to hit the highlights today for you. So let's go back to our program. And I will also send that handout out with the replay, a link where you can download it if you can't get it right now. When I send out the replay of this webinar, there will be a link with it that you can download that full document. So we're going to hit the highlights of Google's 160-page document. I'm going to talk about the top 15 takeaways from what Google says. We're going to talk about what SEO is and what SEO is not, and your 7-step plan for dominating Google, because that's what y'all came here for. So, and I will take questions at the end of the presentation. So if you have any questions, what you're going to want to do is type them in to the little box that you have there. So you want to type them in. We're not going to open the lines because, like I said, over 300 people registered for this. So there's a lot of folks on the line right now. There's almost 100 listening to us right now. So if you have a question, just type it in. Don't wait till the end. You can type it in any time, and I will go through all the questions and answer them at the end of the presentation. And that's usually the most fun part of the whole thing. So let's talk about free stuff, 160 pages straight from Google. So be sure to download your handout, which is the 160-page document. So this is just some quotes and some takeaways from it, some things that hit the highlights about this document. We want to please Google, obviously, with our websites. So I just wanted to hit the highlights and give you some food for thought. So Ben Hallam is the managing director for M2 Bespoke, and that's over in the UK. And here's what he said. He said, although the document doesn't suggest there's a single chief factor in ranking #1 on Google, it does offer plenty of clues on what it views as quality when evaluating a website. And that's true, it really does. Naturally, our eyes navigated towards what it said about content. We've always known that Google loves original, useful, and well-written content as reflected in its algorithm updates, but it's now given a bit more of itself away. So when at LTC Expert Publications, we're constantly talking about content, and this just goes to show that fresh, unique content really is important on your website. So we'll get to that. So what did Google actually say about content? Hold on a second here. Okay, so here's another quote from Ben, and he's not the only person who had the best article or the best summary, so I quoted him a couple of times. High-quality pages and websites need enough expertise to be authoritative and trustworthy on their topic. EAT, in this document, you'll see references to EAT and MC. MC is main content, and EAT is expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. And those are 3 words that we use at LTCEP all the time. Expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. EAT is Google's acronym for what exactly makes up a high-quality page on your website. Google suggests that any topic in any industry is worthy of expert writers. It's not enough to have an intern writing the content for your business. And that's one of the things that's really important to us here at LTCEP. It's important to our clients to have professionals that write the content that you read on their website. That is super important. So we want to make sure that you know how important that is to Google as well. And it doesn't mean that you yourself can't write the content. You certainly can. Because you own a home care agency, or because you're affiliated, or you work for a senior care business, that gives you a lot of expertise and authority. You can write content. You don't have to hire it out. But for those of you who are too busy or don't have the time, having someone else write the content for you who is an expert in the home care industry, like LTCEP or anybody else you can find like us, that is really important for your website because you want those articles to sound like folks know their stuff. Okay, so this is kind of my tip at the bottom. I have little tips throughout the presentation. But this is another sort of takeaway from that whole Google document that you can download. This comes back to the whole concept of quality content. When a searcher lands on your page, on your website, and they can easily tell that it's created by someone or a company with high EAT, remember expertise, authority, and trustworthiness, this not only tells the searcher that this is great authoritative content, but they're also that much more likely to recommend it or share it with others. It gives them the confidence that they're sharing trustworthy and accurate information in their social circles. So my tip at the bottom, every blog post should have an easily identifiable author. Nothing should be posted as admin. So we see a lot of companies and a lot of websites out there where all the content is by some anonymous, unknown person called admin. And what we have always preached and we have always done at LTCEP is made sure that there is a person, a human face, and a bio next to each and every piece of content that goes out on the internet if we're responsible for it. We want to make sure that there's a human face with that content because Google appreciates that and knows that that has been claimed by a human being. So you want to make sure that when you do publish content on your website in the form of articles and blog posts, that there really is someone attributed to that content, not just admin. Been a recent trend lately where webmasters, this is a great one, I just heard this the other day, they changed the date more recent than it really is. So in other words, taking old content that's like maybe 2 years old on your blog and just redating it for today, even if they don't change anything on the page. In contrast, others add updated dates to their content when they do a refresh or a check, even when the publish date remains the same. Google now takes this into account and asks raters, these are human beings, human raters, to check the Wayback Machine. And if you don't know what that is, that's a place you can Google it. You can go and see what your website looked like 2 years ago, 3 years ago. Check the Wayback Machine if there are any questions about the content date. So if anyone ever asks you or tells you to not date your content or to update it with dates that are more recent and that they have been posted years ago or even a year ago, that is the wrong thing to do. You need to make sure your content is fresh, it is dated, the date is visible, and that it is current and it's not being reused over and over again. So my tip at the bottom, keep your content fresh, always have your content dated, and never try to game the system. For a website or a page to be rated as high quality, so think about your websites right now, it must meet at least one of the following criteria. Now be real honest with yourself, if you can. A satisfying amount of high quality main content on the topic, in our case, it's elder care, home care, senior care. The author is considered to be an expert authority and trustworthy, EAT for their topic. So that means you are an expert, you are an authority, and you are trustworthy if you're the owner or the marketer or the person whose face is out there on the website. The author and or website has a good reputation around the topic. That means that you have maybe articles published on other websites, which we do that for our clients. There is strong supplemental content leading to a good user experience. So in other words, supplemental content could be you have great main content on your site, your About Us page, your services page, and you have great supplemental content. That could be stuff in the sidebars or could be blog posts. It could be all kinds of supplemental content, but it's good stuff. It's not irrelevant. It's not too it's not ad driven. You can't have ads, but it's just really good supplemental content, tips and hints, things like that. The website has a functional web design, and the website is well maintained. So you have to meet at least one of these in order to be considered high quality. Okay, so is your website mobile responsive? This is another big thing that came from this 160-page document. Mobile friendly. If you haven't taken one of the many hints from Google to make your site mobile friendly, know that this will hurt the perceived quality of your site. In fact, Google tells their human raters to rate any page that is not mobile friendly, a page that becomes unusable on a mobile device, at the lowest rating. In this latest version of the quality guidelines, all ratings are now being done on a mobile device. Google has been telling us over and over for the last couple more mobile traffic than desktop. So if you still haven't made your site mobile friendly, this should tell you emphatically that it needs to be a priority. And my tip obviously is mobile responsive websites are a must. So I wanted to show you a picture of that. This is one of the websites we developed. Now this is just a screenshot, so it doesn't show the whole thing. This is one of our friends, Care Resolutions. And on the left you see a big screenshot of what their website, or the top part of their website, would look like on my web browser. This is just the top part of their website, it's not the whole thing. And then I squinched it down to the size, something like that. It might look bigger on your screen, but this is what it looks like. This is mobile responsive. That means things stack together, they look correct, you can still read them. It's not a tiny version of the website. It's a stacked version of the website that still, it means you're able to manage through it. You're able to look at all the different pages. So this is what mobile responsive really means. All right. So the top 15 takeaways from this document. Quality content. Work to be an expert, authority, and trustworthy in your industry, which most of you on this call would be considered that because you are working in the industry. Online and offline reputation will impact your ranking. You need to have lots of testimonials. Your website does not need to include all of the latest bells and whistles, but it should be functional. Make it easy for users to find the information they're looking for, like your phone number. Use professional ghostwriters in your industry who represent you well on your blog. If you don't have time to write it, then hire somebody who does. And my tip at the bottom, blog posting has never been more important than it is now. Include good supplemental content on your site. Ads are okay as long as they do not disrupt the user experience or distract from the main content. Make sure your website is mobile friendly. Check for broken links. Prevent or remove spam comments. Add fresh content to your website every single week. That should be done. Update stale or out-of-date content. Collect positive customer reviews. Make sure your contact information is available on your website. Answer common user queries concisely at the beginning of your article and use structured data markup on your web pages. All of these things should be done. So my tip, blog post a minimum of 1 time per week. Okay, next part of this, don't buy the wrong jazz. So I put together a little primer on SEO, and I've done this before, but I think people get really confused. SEO has become a description of a lot of services, and so I want to tell you what SEO really means. Why SEO and what is it for? SEO stands for Search Engine Optimization. It is the process of getting traffic from the free, organic, editorial, or natural search results on search engines. All major search engines such as Google, Bing, and Yahoo have primary search results, where web pages and other content such as videos or local listings are shown and ranked based on what the search engine considers most relevant to users. Payment isn't involved, as it is with paid search ads. So we are not talking about Google AdWords. That is not SEO. Facebook advertising is not SEO. So what SEO is not, and I'm going to show you a graphic so you can see this really clearly. Here is what SEO is not. It is not paid search. So if somebody says, I'm an SEO expert, give me your credit card and we're going to do some Google AdWords. That's not SEO. Paid search or pay-per-click is not SEO. Google AdWords is not SEO. Facebook ads alone, you can advertise on Facebook, and you can also do pay-per-click. That's all fine. But doing these things alone, that's not SEO. Or links to your website, that's not SEO. Facebook posts that have no backlinks to your website, that is not SEO. And I'll show you what I mean in just a second. One blog post per month, not SEO. SEO, static pages of your website only without fresh content every week, that is not accurate SEO. It does nothing. No way to calculate your return on investment, that's not great, and no reporting. You need to have reporting. Okay, so here is a little explanation of what we're talking about. At the top of this screen, you see paid search or AdWords. So the first, I typed in the Google search for home care St. Louis. So this is the search results that I received. Or did I do New York? I did New York, I'm sorry. I did home care New York, sorry about that. So home care New York. So the first 3 blue arrows you see, those are all paid advertisements. Anybody can be there. So you see home team care, you see New York Home Care Agencies, hpsny.org. You see Home Health Care St. Louis because I'm in St. Louis, so that's why that showed up. That's odd. But anyway, so those are paid advertisements. And so here's my little, I guess, a suggestion on AdWords. Because, you know, we've been around the block since 2008, and we get asked to do AdWords all the time. And here's just what I want to share with you about AdWords. This is specific to the home care space. It is not specific to lawyers or plumbers or roofers or anyone else. This is really sort of our experience in the home care industry. And it's because that's all we do and that's what we service. That's why we know this information. So if you spend $1,000 per month on AdWords in the home care industry, employment seekers clicking on your ads, and 200 of it is going to go to real people who might need care. AdWords experts outside of the home care industry do not understand this concept, so be very careful. But that is, generally speaking, the ratio of job seekers wasting your money on clicks versus real people who need care. And the less you spend, so let's say you spent $500 per month or you spent $300 per month on AdWords, the worse that ratio becomes. So just know that when you do Google AdWords, a large portion of that will go to job seekers, especially if someone doesn't know the challenges that the home care industry faces with that. Okay, so that's my spiel on paid search. That's always going to be at the top. The next thing you see is what they call the snack pack. It used to be a 7-pack, and now they call it a snack pack, and I hate those 2 words together, but there's only 3 listings now. You do not need Google reviews to show up in this area. Obviously, you can see that by looking at the 3 listings that are there: Preferred Home Care, Synergy Home Care of New York, and Extended Home Care. 2 of the 3 do not have any Google reviews. It always helps to have a few on there, but it's not the be-all, end-all. Maps are changing considerably. If you're on a mobile device and you have GPS enabled, I was sitting at a desktop when I did this search, but if I were on a mobile device that was GPS enabled and I were driving around, Google is going to show me the places that are the closest to me as I drive. It's not going to show me necessarily the same 3 people on the map. So when you say I don't show up on the map, it depends on where you're sitting and what you're looking for and how you're typing it in as to what Google might show you. So things are changing dramatically with maps. It's very mobile directed. And then below that, you see on the bottom left in the green, these are the organic search results finally. So when you do a Google search and you want to see the organic results, you start seeing them right under the maps. And those are the first 2 results in the organic space there. So that is what how Google is divided up. Paid is at the top, then your maps, then your organic listings. And then I talked about Facebook. I said what SEO is not, and I talked about Facebook ads a little bit. So I wanted to clarify Facebook ads on Facebook posting. So what you see here is a screenshot of one of our clients' Facebook pages. You can see that they have three, we're looking at, you can't see the whole thing because this is a screenshot, but the top one is an article. It says 3 reasons professional home care support is better than other options. And what you can see there is that if you were to click on that article right there, it links back to the content that they have written on an authority site. So this person is an author on ApprovedSeniorNetwork.com, and that article was just posted. And because they have an article there, it shows up on their Facebook feed, and if you were to click on it, it would go to their article on Approved Senior Network and to their information. The next one down links back to their website, Why Fiber is Essential for a Senior's Healthy Diet. This article, if you were to click on it, would go right back to Home Choice Home Care Solutions website. And the third one that you see at the bottom also links right back to their website. So Home Care and Caring North Carolina, activities, I can't read the whole thing. If you were to click on that, that would go right back to their website. That is what you want to have happen, and that is why blog posting is so important. Anything you post on Facebook, or most of the stuff, 90% of the stuff you post there should link right back to your website. If it does not link right back to your website, it's not doing you any good. So now I blacked this out so you couldn't see who it is. But and this is cute, and it's not that you can't do this. It's just that it doesn't do anything for you. So they posted a picture, and it's cute. Go the extra mile. It's never crowded there. That is awesome. But it links to nothing. It doesn't link to their website. It doesn't link to anything. It's just borrowed content. This type of outreach is okay because it's neat, it's cute, it might get some likes. As long as there is a mix of also having links back to your own website through articles. If this is all you do, if you just post cute little pictures and quotes and stuff from other people's websites, it does nothing for your website. And we know that Google looks for engagement. So if all you're doing is putting cute little memes and cute little articles that are interesting from the New York Times and stuff like that, you're not helping your own website. You need to have content going from your website to your Facebook and your LinkedIn and your Twitter so that when people click on it, they're engaging with your website. And Google likes engagement, and they want to see that happening. So if you have somebody posting these little cutesy-pootsy things for you, that's awesome. But make sure that real content, real, new, fresh content from your own website is also getting posted to Facebook so that you actually get some help from Facebook in increasing the rank of your website on Google search engines. Hope everybody understands that. So what SEO is and what you should be getting from your SEO provider. So if you have hired somebody to do SEO for you, this is what you should be getting. You should be getting the search engine optimization of your current static pages like About Us and services and things like that. They should SEO the current static pages of your website, but they also should be doing weekly or daily blog posts that are search engine optimized, but not over optimized. You have to be careful with that. Content from your website, those blog posts, are being distributed from your website to social media. Facebook engagement, LinkedIn.com engagement, and Twitter engagement, and Pinterest engagement should be happening. Backlinks from other reputable senior care websites should be leading to your website. So you should have articles on websites that are not your own. E-newsletters with your local content that encourage readers to engage with your website and click on the content and share the content should be happening. So SEO equals content plus engagements plus backlinks, and that equals trust. Not only will your prospects trust you, but also Google will trust you. All of that together is what you should be getting. You should also get a keyword content plan. I'll show you what that looks like in a minute. You should also get a keyword content plan that is consumer-driven and not job seeker-driven, and this is a big mistake that we see a lot. So whereas I know that the keyword phrase home health aid is not a consumer-driven keyword phrase, it is an employment seeker-driven keyword phrase, other search engine optimization providers out there, other SEOs wouldn't know that because they don't work in the home care industry. Monthly reporting at a minimum. You should be getting your keyword ranking reports. You should know where you show up on Google for all of the different keyword phrases that the person is optimizing your website for. ways to help calculate ROI, forms and phones. So in other words, if you want to know what kind of difference you're making with your website as far as revenue, make sure you can count how many forms were filled out and how many times the phone rang, and not just how many times the phone rang, but what kind of calls were coming in. Were they all employment seekers? Were they all hang-ups, wrong numbers, or were some of them leads? And did those leads close? So forms and phones. Education, consulting, and commitment. You should also be getting that from your SEO provider, and you should be getting 24/7 support from them. It shouldn't take 5 days for someone to turn around a question to you. It should be pretty much same day or next day. Okay, expectations for SEO in 2016. Make sure you aren't oversold. If anyone promises you they can put you on the first page of Google in the next 2 weeks, they're lying. Unless you're already there, then that would be true. First page of Google, depending on your service area, can take up to 6 months. Budget for 6 months of service. Review SEO with your staff regularly or with the staff of the SEO people that you have hired. Web designers are not SEO specialists. There's a key difference between someone who develops a website and someone who understands search engine optimization. They can be the same person, but more likely a good web designer is not the same person in the company who does the search engine optimization. So there are two different people usually. In most search engine optimization specialists, so you're a chamber guy that does SEO and websites, you're the guy down the street that started a new career in SEO, they may say they're SEO specialists, but I guarantee you there are so many differences in doing SEO for a home care agency or an assisted living facility or nursing home or a senior housing community. It's different than doing SEO for a plumber or a roofer or a lawyer. They are different animals altogether because home care is very overwhelming financially and emotionally. These are big decisions people are making, so the way we treat the words that we use are a lot different and our target market is a lot different. So just keep that in mind. SEO specialists are not home care SEO specialists. Be very careful. Okay, recommendations based on all this. You need local SEO by town or city that you service. You need continuous original local content, meaning blog posting. You need offsite publishing, meaning you're having articles published on other websites. You need a local blog with a feed, and the feed is so important. I can't tell you how many times we run up against folks who do not have a feed. Need local social media. You need local newsletter. You need reputation management, which are your testimonials and reviews. So now, let's see here. We are to the 7-step plan, your home care agency dominating Google. So here's your 7-step plan. So get ready because we're going to go through the 7 steps. And yes, I will answer questions at the end, so be sure and type in your questions now so that I can answer them at the end. And I will be sending out the replay of this. So hold on. All right, step number 1. You got to have a good website. If you don't have a good website or it was built 5 years ago, you need to upgrade your website. So step number 1 is to make sure your organization has a great website, a professional image. It's your professional image online. Everybody's going to see it eventually. Is it designed for lead capture? Is it optimized for your local area? Is it mobile responsive? Does it have a clear call to action, meaning call now? Does it get unique weekly content in the form of blog posts? And does it have a tracked phone line to help you calculate your return on investment? If so, you're good. That's step 1. Got to have a good website. Step 2, this is something I told you I would talk about, and that is your SEO keyword plan. You need to have a plan in mind. So I put an example on the screen here. This would be somebody in the Houston area. Some of these are the words that we would use in our blog posting to help them get better SEO results in their local areas. It's prioritized by geography. It's prioritized by keyword phrase. We use this kind of a keyword plan to SEO the core website, and we use it to guide the weekly blogging. Continuous content publishing. So here's your blog posting. You need to have blog posting at a minimum of once per week. The content should be 100% unique. You never ever want to take somebody else's article and just spin it or just flat out post it on your website. You want unique content. And you want it to be a minimum of 400 to 500 words, and there are reasons for that. Google does not like to index pages that have less than 400 to 500 words on them. You need to optimize for top keyword priorities as well as many lower volume or long tail keyword phrases. You need to feed all those blog posts to social media and to your monthly e-newsletter. You need to publish local company news, the people, events, and celebrations of your local area of your company. And you need to publish articles with your key referral partners. So if you are a home care agency, why don't you publish a little article about your local assisted living facility? You'd like to make friends with them. You'd like to get maybe some business from them. So why not highlight them in one of your blog posts and vice versa? Step number 4. You need to have good community outreach. So on Facebook, you need to make sure you have likes, you have fans, and that you're reaching out to them. Your blog posts should automatically filter into your Facebook page, and they should be something that your local community sees. LinkedIn is your professional to professional networking and outreach online. So you should have an up-to-date LinkedIn profile. You need to make sure that you're having your content go to your LinkedIn profile, and you need to use LinkedIn to your advantage. Feed content from your blog. On Facebook, you should boost your important posts, which is a whole nother webinar in and of itself. You should invite everyone on your email list to like your page, and you can use paid ads to build likes. So I said it before that SEO is not Facebook ads, and that is true. It is not Facebook ads. But what it can do is, if you use Facebook ads in conjunction with all of this other stuff I'm talking about, you can build your likes and get more people in your local area to take notice of you. And of course, you should always publish your testimonials. You should have an automated monthly e-newsletter, and that is possible. You can set it and forget it if you know what you're doing. It should feed from your blog. You need to build the best email list in your territory, all of your prospects, all of your potential referral partners, all of your clients and their adult children. Publish quality information regularly, engaging articles, company news and events, employee celebrations, testimonials, and then we also talked about writing articles about your referral partners. It keeps you top of mind and builds engagement. A monthly newsletter may seem yucky to you, but I guarantee you it's just like buying a car. If you're in the market to buy a car, you see all the ads, you notice everything on the radio, you notice the TV ads, you notice the goofy guy screaming his head off that he can give you the best deal. You notice that kind of stuff when you're in the market to buy a car. If you are not in the market to buy a car, you notice none of that stuff. It's just like beta waves, it goes right through you. Elder care is the same way. If a family is not in the mode of an elder care crisis or heading down that path, they could care less about your ads, your blog, your e-newsletter. They could care less about any of that. But the minute mom falls and breaks her hip or has a stroke or someone has a heart attack, all of a sudden things get serious, and they start noticing the things that come to their email, and they quit deleting your newsletter because they know they're going to have to pick up the phone and make a call. So having a monthly newsletter that someone deletes for 6 months in a row, but on the 7th month actually opens up and picks up the phone and calls you because they need help is totally worth it. Definitely have an automated monthly e-newsletter. Authority offsite publishing and backlinking. And I put on the screen here the Approved Senior Network, which is our network of providers across the country. Build authority through publishing on other sites. So all of our clients publish on all of our local and national sites. It gives you valuable inbound links for SEO, and you can use those articles as leave-behinds and follow-ups. So the way we've structured it is anything that is published on the Approved Senior Network can be printed out in a pretty fashion. So you can either email people the links to your content, or you can print them out and use them as leave-behinds. Works really well. Every client of ours has an article on Alzheimer's care, aging veterans, home care options, reducing hospital readmission rates, caregiver stress, and senior home safety. So they get all kinds of good content out there in their name, and they can publish, they can print it, or they can email those links out to others. Senior service reviews. This is a website that we put together, a review system that is just for senior care. You want to build trust with reputation management. So you want to have a high volume of positive testimonials, Eliminate negative reviews as much as you can. Your reviews should be searchable in your key towns. This is a third-party website, which gives your testimonials more credibility. It's distributed to Facebook as long as the testimonial review is approved. It is distributed out to social media. It's written in a format. All the coding behind the scenes on Senior Service Reviews is accepted by Google, and Senior Service Reviews is a valid review site in Google's eyes. And you can also distribute this to prospects. So if somebody asks you for a list of folks, to talk to, you can always, instead of violating HIPAA and sending them names and phone numbers, you could go ahead and send them here and let them read all the kind words that people are saying about you. So that is your 7-step process. This is kind of what it looks like when you put it all together. So on the left-hand side, you have your website. It has your blog articles, your SEO, your company news, and that goes out to your e-newsletter and to your social media. And then you have your reputation management, which is your reviews going back to your website and out to your social media. And then you have your LTCP authority articles. You have all these articles that are on other websites that also go out to your social media, and they also link back to your main website. Sort of a kind of a clunky figure 8, but having everything relate back to each other, and so that your clients and your prospects are always being driven back to your website. That's how you want it to happen. So this is kind of what it looks like when you put it all together, and this is what Google wants to see: engagement, trust, authority, and that is what and that's what is in that 160-page document. Okay, so let's talk about management, tracking, and reporting. So if you're not receiving reporting from your current SEO company, you might want to ask for it. So what is the keyword plan? You might ask them, what is my keyword plan? Have them produce that for you. And then have them show you, well, where do I show up on the first page of Google or the 10th page of Google? Can you tell me? And have them put that together for you and show you. This is a report that we send to our clients every month. They can see how they've gone up or down with all their keyword phrases, and it's all based on content, fresh, quality content, and blog posting. So we have a keyword plan for our clients. They have track phone lines if they choose. Some choose to have them, some choose to not have them. They have social media publishing reports, monthly performance reports, active SEO management, and SEO performance consultations on the phone whenever they like. So this works out really well, and it helps you know what you're spending your money on. So now you have your 7 steps. Now you know what Google wants to see, and I'll just tell you that if you want to, and of course I'm going to put a commercial in for us at the end, if you want to engage with us for all those things I just talked about, and we do all of it, we have an easy offer. For people who do not need a website, we charge $495 per month for all of the services. There's no setup fee. And for folks who do need a website, website development can cost thousands of dollars up front. Sometimes people don't have that. So what we do is we spread that out over a year. There's no setup fee. It's just $795 per month. If you do need a website developed for you, we will work with you to put together a custom website using one of the themes that we like to use, give you lots of options. And of course, if you are a franchise or group, you want to talk to George first, because there's other options beyond these two. But if you want to get real SEO and get real results, you want to make sure you call us and talk to us. I am going to take questions, so if you have any questions, you're going to want to go ahead and type them into the questions pane. And the phone number, if you want to talk to George, is 888-404-1513, or you can email him at george@ltcep.com. Alrighty. All right, so I'm going to leave this screen up here, and this is just some of our testimonials and stuff that you can read while we answer questions. Let's see what we have. Ding. All right, so type in your questions because we have plenty of time to answer them. And let me put this over here. Okay, so if you did not see the handout in the dashboard, you can certainly, I will send that out with the replay so you can get it, but it should be there. Let's see. Can you tell us where to download? Okay, so lots of people are asking, where's the document? It is in the little dashboard, the little control panel that you have. It should be there under handouts. If you don't see it, I definitely will make sure there's a link to it so you can download it when this goes out. Please clarify what updating stale or outdated content, what would that include? Well, Dana, when we look at websites and we're redoing them, oftentimes we will find that they have pages and pages of resources, which you don't need to have, by the way, because you are the resource. But anyway, they have pages and pages of resources with documents that don't exist, links to documents that don't exist, or links to websites that don't exist anymore. So there are lots of different ways that you can update your content. Go through your website. Make sure it's up to date. Look at all those static pages that you haven't looked at in 2 years, and make sure that the content is valid, that the links still work. So there's a lot of updating that can be done after a year or two on a website. Is your staff the same? Do they need to be replaced? You know, what are the kinds of things that should be done? So, and then the other way to update stale content would be to make sure you have fresh content coming into your website in the form of unique blog posts every week. So there's lots of things that you should be doing. Make sure your website is up to date. How does one get on the snack pack, and does this take optimizing? Yes, it does take optimizing to get on that maps list, but also Google has changed that a lot, as I explained. It could be based on where you are and the mobile device you're looking at as to who shows up in that snack pack. If you are 20 miles away from a restaurant that you intend to go to and you're Googling, you know, steakhouse in St. Louis, you're going to get the 3 steakhouses that are the closest to you based on where you're sitting right now. You're not going to get the one that's 20 miles away. So you have to remember that Google's in charge of what's showing up there oftentimes more than we are, as much as we'd like to think we're in charge of that. But you do need to have a good Google My Business page. You need to have everything filled out correctly. And your website works with your Google My Business page. So it also needs to be up to date and a good, excellent website with optimization. Someone told me that a Google review carries much weight. Why not have a friend do a few Google reviews for our business? Well, that's because if you have one person or 2 people sitting at the same IP address, meaning wherever you're sitting working on your computer or whatever device you're on has its own IP address. If you do 10 reviews under 10 different anonymous names from the same IP address, Google is really smart and they know instantly that it's spam. So they can deactivate your Google My Business page. If you have one person at one house do a nice review for you, and you have another person at another house do a nice review for you, then that's a little bit different. But when you have the same person do 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 reviews for you sitting in the same IP address, then all it is you know, trying to scam the system, and it doesn't work. So don't do it. I missed a few slides. Can we download them? We do not put our slides out for download because this is proprietary information, but I will put it on SlideShare and you can view them if you'd like. What exactly do you do for $495 per month? That's a good question, Ted. We do every single thing in those 7 steps that I just told you about. So everything. We do websites, or for the $495, we do all of the content, SEO, we do all the social media, we take care of everything organic. If you want to talk to George about it, I recommend calling him or emailing him, george@ltcep.com. He can send you the different, the whole like outline of every single service and the pricing and all that stuff. He can send that to you in a PDF. Or you can call him at 888-404-1513. I do not send out copies of the presentation, folks, but I do put them on SlideShare, and I will post that for you. How can, oh, we have a bunch of questions here. Hold on. How can I get my clients to post Google reviews? Leslie, that is really difficult sometimes because I think they have to have an account, and folks are not very web savvy. So my recommendation is to use a service sort of like Senior Service Reviews, where they don't need an account to leave a review, and that all reviews must be approved by an admin before they go live. How does Google know if an intern or expert in the field wrote an article or blog? Well, I've read hundreds. We have, let me just put it to you this way. LTC Expert Publications has somewhere between 700 and 800 articles per month written on behalf of our clients. And we're pretty picky, and our clients are pretty picky. And we can tell a crap article from a nice, solid, well-put-together article in a heartbeat, and so can Google. So if you're an expert in the field and you have an intern writing for you, they better be a very well-versed intern, and they better be pretty well-versed in senior care, because we've seen what happens when a college student who has no point of reference for having a senior care need writes articles. If you can find one that does a fabulous job and it doesn't make you sound kind of weird, then that's awesome. But for the most part, we found that having professional writers, and they're not that much more costly, or they're not more costly at all. It's really a good thing to have. Professional writers are always a better bet. How much time do you want to spend editing the articles? That kind of thing. Keywords are associated with locations, cities, and towns. Why is this important? Google has to know where you're located, and the people who are looking for services have to know where you're located. There are let's say there's 50,000 home care agencies in the United States of America. If all you did was optimize for home care, senior care, and elder care with no reference to location, then chances are you would be lost in the universe. So it's better to have the top 10 towns that you service, maybe throw some counties in there if it's important to you, but mostly city and state. Put some of that into your SEO mix, and you'll make sure that people who are in those local areas find you, and they feel like you're more local to them when they see their city listed. What services are included for $4.95, and can you work with any existing website? Robert, it depends on the website. We would rather work with your existing website than build a whole new one, but there are some websites that are problematic, or they're too old, or they're just written in a language that doesn't allow for blog posting. So if you have a WordPress website or one that we can work with pretty easily on the back end, then we're happy to use your website. If it's a newer one, that's even better. If it's an old website or it's clunky junky, then we're probably going to recommend that you have something new built, because Google's looking for specifics, and we can blog post for you all day, but if your website's not meeting current specifications, then it might be worth just having a new one. But we do like working with people's current websites, so we certainly would do that. And if you want to know the entire list of services, which I just talked about in those 7 steps, but if you want to know all of our services, then please email George at ltcep.com, and he will send that to you. Should we remove or update blog posts that have outdated information? Well, most blog posts in senior care are evergreen. I would not remove blog posts. What I think that the folks are trying to say is don't redate them for right now. So if you have a blog post from 2011 that talked about a senior fair you were at, don't worry about removing that. Just leave it there. But if the content on a static page that people are going to be looking at all the time, like your About Us page or your Resources page, there are broken links or broken images, or it just, you're talking about something that happened in 2008 and we're in 2016, update that kind of stuff. If your website has outdated dates and information and numbers on it, then people will assume that you don't care about your website very much and you're not updating it. So make sure you go through, look at that content, and make sure all of the things that you're referring to or referencing are for 2016 and not like manuals and Medicare guides that are from 2008. What's the best, easiest way to get other people to post your blogs on their sites? That is really tough. But if you want to have, the best thing to do is to write the article and make sure it's unique to their website, because most people are not going to want to post duplicate content, and then send it to someone and say, hey, I was looking at your website and I think it's really great, and I wrote this article and I wondered if you'd be willing to publish it, and make sure that you reference me and my website at the end. Sometimes people will do it, sometimes people will ignore you. That's why we developed our own sites, so that we have a national site that is willing and ready to take any content that our clients write for it, and it works out really well. anybody else have any other questions? And George, did I cover everything, or is there something that I missed?
No, you covered the field here. I didn't see anything that's missing.
Okay, well, people need to talk to George if you have any questions, if you want to know what our entire pricing strategy looks like or all the services that are involved. He totally has all that stuff, and he'll email it to you, right, George?
Yeah, and if you want me to look at your website to see if it's the kind we can work with your existing website, we'll do that.
Yeah, and again, we like to work with existing websites, so we don't want you to change it if you don't have to. All right, well, I think that's 2:53 my time, 3:53 Eastern time, and we almost hit the full hour, so that is it for me. If anybody has any questions, feel free to call us or email us. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. We will be sending out the replay, a link to the slides on SlideShare, and the 160-page Google document there'll be a link so you can download it. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye. Bye, George.
Bye-bye.